popped up is if you feel comfortable, talk me through your divorce. What led you there? How do you migrate through it? Kind of, I would love to hear your perspective.
Sure. My divorce, that was one of the hardest things I ever experienced. It was the same level of pain as losing my mother. And so
Mm,
my therapist was telling me, loss is loss. Your body doesn't know, your body doesn't distinguish a divorce from a death. It's still
mm,
loss.
mhm,
And
mhm,
so the same level of like sorrow and sadness that I experienced with losing my mom, I mean, it was the exact same feeling. Like when I felt it,
mhm,
it's almost like being pregnant more than once.
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
you're like, okay, I remember this, and that's
Yep,
exactly what it
yep.
was for me. It was like I remember this heaviness. I remember this
Mhm,
weight, and so it was very familiar. So I immediately knew like, okay, I got to talk to somebody to lighten myself up.
mhm,
But it was hard. It was really hard. I got married young. I was looking for a family. And
mhm,
so my ex-husband and I was in high school when we started dating,
mhm,
like maybe a junior. And so he was really my most serious boyfriend that I would say, because when I was in college, we were still together. And so I really was looking for a family, you know, my mother being sick and then eventually passing. My parents divorced when I was about 10.
mhm, mhm,
And I was a daddy's girl. Like I loved my dad.
mhm,
So that was really heartbreaking. And unfortunately, he didn't really step up once my mom passed.
mhm,
And so that made it really challenging. So I was really looking for a family. I was looking for, you know, the house, the picket fence. I wasn't looking for kids at the time, but I was
mhm,
looking for my partner, my person.
mhm,
And so that was extremely challenging. And so even in the midst of that, you know, I lost a house, I lost my car. There were so many things that came out of that. So
mhm,
it was very challenging, but I had my work, and luckily I was self-employed, so I could, you know, I mean,
mhm, mhm,
I am someone that always works, so I don't really. I used to fly in from. I used to teach for other brands, so I would
mhm.
fly in from teaching from a brand at noon, and then I would see clients at like 3 that same day. So I didn't use like flight as an excuse to not work. So
Yep.
I would work more because of the
Mhm,
divorce. But the only reason I was able to do that because by this time I had my daughter, my grandmother. You know, I knew that we lived with her once I was going through my divorce. I moved out of my house, moved in with her, and she didn't ask me a whole bunch of questions. She says, whatever you need, you know, and
mm,
I
mm,
told her my schedule with working, and she's like, no problem, I can help with Layla, you know, and so she did. And so she
mm. That's
allowed me to
beautiful.
really dig into my work, and so that was a blessing of being
Mhm,
able to do that.
mhm,
But yeah, that process was very, very, very painful. But I
mhm.
do equate it. The feeling was the same as losing my
Yes,
mom.
yes. What made you walk away?
I didn't recognize it at the time, but I was really unhappy. And to me, unhappiness wasn't enough of a reason to leave a relationship.
Mhm,
But by this time, we did go through therapy because I kind of gave him an ultimatum. And through that, I realized that he was verbally abusive. He was really mean at times, and it wasn't all the time, but it was enough. And then there would be times where he wouldn't, what I felt like would kind of do his part
mhm,
in, you know, the household and all of that.
mhm,
So, and actually, while I was pregnant, I had overheard him having a conversation with his mother saying, you know, when I decided I was going to get into nails full time, he's like, well, that's only a fad. He didn't hang up the phone. This is when we still had a house phone. So, so we're on the cell phone talking, about to hang up. He's on the house phone talking to his mother. And he was like, yeah, I mean, this is only something she just doing this. It's just a fad. It's not something she's really going to do. And that, oh, it hurt my heart. That really hurt my feelings. But it wasn't until a few years later that I decided that I was going to leave and file for the divorce. But yeah, one particular situation, I was like, this, I'm done. You know,
mhm,
it finally got to
mhm,
a point where I was like, okay, I tried, but I'm done. But I
mhm,
felt bad for so long because I felt like because there wasn't any evidence
Yes,
of
yes,
why,
yes.
that's why I was like, I can't leave because being unhappy is not a good enough
Yes.
reason.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were telling my story because I also went through a divorce.
I'm
And it was for
sorry.
the same reason. I was like, he doesn't hit me, he
Yeah,
doesn't beat me, he
right,
doesn't cheat on me, he
right,
goes to work, he makes money. I should be fine, right?
right. I
But
should
I'm
be happy.
unhappy. I'm so unhappy. I'm miserable. Can
Yes.
you leave a marriage because you're miserable?
Yeah, and you absolutely can. I did,
And
but
I was like, all
I
right,
didn't feel
here I
like I
go.
could.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was a hard. It was a hard position for me to get to of being
Yes.
willing to leave a good guy
Yes.
because you're unhappy.
Yes.
Um, but I walked away and I got very clear. I was like, all right, God got something different for me.
Mhm.
I questioned why I made the decision I made.
Mhm.
So I understood. I was looking for a piece of it. To be 100% honest, I went to Yale. I had found a guy who went to the University of New Haven.
Mhm.
Everyone outside looking in, you need to date somebody else from Yale. Why you dating
Mhm.
somebody from that college? I was like, oh, I'm gonna show y'all.
Mhm. Right.
So I dug my little heels down. I said, I'm gonna
Right.
marry him. Look with me, and because he was a good guy, he
Yeah.
treated me well. Oh girl, I just was not happy. No.
Yeah. And that is a reason. I mean,
Hmm.
it's hard, because I also grew up in the church, and it was like, you don't divorce, you
Hmm.
work it out. I
Yep.
listened to too many Mary J. Blige songs, I guess,
Yep.
growing up, so I felt like, you got to stay in it. Love's supposed to
Yeah.
hurt,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I was just absolutely miserable. So
Hmm.
yeah, I totally, but
Hmm.
I did feel guilt for a long time, not having something
Yes.
tangible to
Yes.
say, this is why. And,
Hmm.
and this is, whether it was something physical or like you said,
Hmm.
cheating or anything like
Hmm.
that. I mean, I just didn't have
I didn't
anything,
have nothing. And then
but
sometimes, like, God, it would make it so much easier for
it
me to walk
would.
away if you just give me something. But I was
Yep.
like, no, put your big barrel pants on. You got to do this. You gonna have to trust me.
Yeah.
I think that's where I was trying. God said, you're gonna have to trust that I have something better, and make a
Mm-hmm.
decision that doesn't look good,
Right.
that doesn't follow the picture perfect, that doesn't align with what you think you are. But I got you.
Right.
Trust that I have you, and walk
Yeah.
away. And I
Yep.
walked away.
Yep. Yep.
Very sad, but I did it, and it hurt, and I beat up on myself. Was this right? Should I have fought? Am I weak now because of this? I went through all those emotions.
Yes.
I went through all those emotions.
Yeah, those emotions were, woo, they are something else. But
Yes.
yeah, how do you feel now?
Oh, wonderful. God had me like I knew God did. I found my husband on Tinder, of all places.
Ooh.
We found each other on Tinder. Our first time when we chatted, we FaceTime for 9 hours. Like, we both don't have jobs we had to go to.
Right.
Like, whose idea was this to be up all night on the phone?
Go to
Like,
work tired.
yeah, like we 12, we not 10, 9. Like, we gotta still get up and go to work. And we have like
Right.
real jobs we gotta go do. Like,
Right.
whose idea was this?
That is funny.
But we fell in love quick and we got married quick. We have two sons now, and just it's beautiful.
Wonderful.
It's so, and then it's beautiful because everyone's like, "Why are you getting married so fast? Why are you getting married so quick?" I said, "Because it feels good. It feels right."
Yeah.
And thank God I did get married quick because I had my car accident
Mm-hmm.
4 months after we got married. If we were not married, he couldn't have come into the room.
Wow.
He couldn't have done anything. Right, maybe my months are off. We got married in October. I got in my car accident July 1st, 2019. So November.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple more than four, but
Right. But
quick,
still within months.
quick. My
Yeah.
son was born in March, and then the accident was in July.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in the car. Thank God for
Wow.
his car seat, child.
That's one. Yeah, I remember asking for you were asking for, or your family was asking for like milk and stuff to
Hmm.
help with the
Hmm.
baby. I do remember the baby was little. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
And thank God that my husband even knew to do that and got
Yeah.
the breast because he knew I wanted to breastfeed for a year. That was my goal.
Oh.
So he was breastfeeding when I was in the hospital, still in a coma. He was
Yeah.
breastfeeding me some and still pumping. And the doctors came to like, "You're going to have to stop," because you're pulling the energy away for her to make the milk that she needs to use to heal. So we had to stop the pumping to give her the
Wow.
energy. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's good that yeah, he was in line with
uh-huh.
your wishes and knowing. So it all
Yeah.
that was divine timing.
Exactly. Exactly. It may not
Mhm.
make sense from the outside.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes. And that's usually how it is. It usually looks like a mess and and then it works out,
Like,
but
oh, that's why. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh,
right.
oh. Now
Right.
I understand. During it, I didn't understand at all.
Yes.
Did not understand at all. But it all made sense.
That's beautiful.
It all made
Good.
sense. It all made